Thank you, Matt. I'm here at the Democratic headquarters here in Burlington, and last night Democratic nominee for Vermont Governor Christine Hawkins was in St. Johnsbury for one more rally before voting began today. Woonsocket police say Officer Travis Young is now home resting. His injury does not seem to be life-threatening, and he will return to work when he is ready. Reporting in Providence, Emma Quinn, NBC 10 News. It may be a simple bag of charcoal, but it can do so much. This mixture will allow for the public to get rid of their medications safely in the trash. Lyndonville Police and Lyndon Institute are continuing to debrief over the incident and continuing to follow their school safety protocols, knowing that anything could happen, even in a rural area. According to the Center of Homeland Defense and Security, Vermont has one of the lowest ratings of school shootings, having only 2 since 2006. And there are plenty of rabbits up for adoption, like my friend Roger here. He was found in a park in Pawtucket. As you can imagine, rabbits have a harder time being adopted than cats and dogs. Students from all the Vermont state colleges gathered at the State House in Montpelier on Tuesday night for the second annual Vermont State College Student Symposium. This event is a way for legislators and lawmakers in the Vermont government to be able to see what projects, studies, and research higher education students are doing in Vermont.
So I am presenting my summer research that I've done in a combination with Dr. Jason Schaefer and Dr. David Sayuda at the Atmospheric Sciences Department.
This project for me is a way to cope with my own grief and a way to help others cope with their grief, specifically due to losing a family member to cancer.
It's a way for legislators to see how Vermont students are making an impact in the state and to see where the education students receive can do.
It's very good when the state college system comes in and gives a presentation, because the state colleges are supposed to be supported by this institution we call state government. And I am quite well aware that we are shortchanging the state college system in virtually every way imaginable, and we need to do a better job of that.
And the other side of it is we get to show off our students to legislators and other leader-type folks, opinion makers, and have them know what an opportunity we provide students within the Vermont State Colleges.
Students were glad to be a part of the event, knowing their hard work is paying off and people are able to take notice.
It was an honor, honestly. I didn't think my research would mean very much, but based off some of the reactions from the legislators, there's a lot of interest in power outage forecasting. So that was pretty cool to hear a lot of that feedback.
So excited. I'm very happy that I get this opportunity and that I'm able to actually do this.
Students are hopeful their experience in the VSC will help them down the road to reach future goals. Emma Quinn, News 7, Montpelier. After a student wore a Halloween costume insinuating that a potential threat would occur at Lyndon Institute on January 31st, the school and the Lyndonville Police Department took action. They investigated and eventually detained a student on January 25th and issued an extreme risk order. It's not something they do often, but they do take seriously.
We knew that there were firearms in the house. So to try and, as the date was getting close, to try and make things a little easier, give us a little more time, we went for an extreme risk order. It's only the second one here in the Northeast.
Over a period of time, information came our way regarding a student and his behaviors and concerns that people had. And as that picture developed, our risk assessment radar became a little more finely tuned, and we became concerned that there was a risk.
While the incident happened in October, it didn't come to light for some time, making many question why information wasn't released sooner.
The community did a great job of sharing information, and the kids brought information forward when they had it, and that was important. And I think they are recognized for their willingness to do that, because it's important for them to bring that to us so we can follow the protocol and do what we did.
What you want to do as an institution that has everyone's children here is to be as transparent and open with communications as possible, while safeguarding the privacy of every individual student. So the decisions around communicating with the community occurred in real time.
That communication may have been coming in real time from the officials, but the school police department say that social media played 2 roles in the investigation. It helped, but also hurt.
Because as we learn going along, definite sides are drawn in a situation like this. And I think a lot of times that's caused by anxiety on both sides. And it just fuels the situation more and more. So, you know, the hardest thing to do is stay off social media, but that's the one thing that helps in the end.
The school knows that anything can happen anywhere. School and police officials say they will be more prepared, having learned lessons from incidents like this. Emma Quinn, News 7, Lyndonville.
1, 2, 3.
The kids of the Kingdom All-Stars Band are not your typical students learning to play music. These young, hand-selected instrumentalists have been practicing and performing for many years, prior to auditioning to become All-Stars. They play and handle the pressure like any other professional, knowing that the show must go on.
Always usually try to have at least a backup or two so that we don't have to like cut a song and stuff.
The really cool thing about the All-Stars is that because we have so many players with all with such diverse talents, we have a lot of multi-instrumentalists. Like if we have one player that can't come because of like a concussion, for example, then we have other players that can fill in.
But as serious as these kids may be about their music, it's not all about putting on a great show.
Just like a bunch of kids that want to play together and play music.
How we all meld as a band together, because we're all pretty advanced musicians. It's not something where in a school band where you're teaching other kids something. It's we all know, so it makes it really enjoyable to play.
But getting a reaction from the crowd is still a pretty cool feeling.
Feeling in the room, like when we play, it's really cool having everybody whoa, that guy can do that.
Emma Quinn, News 7, St. Johnsbury. Republican Phil Scott has been re-elected for his second term as governor. According to the Secretary of State's website, Scott received approximately 54% of statewide votes, beating Democratic nominee Christine Hawkist. However, this was one of the only victories that the Republican Party would see this election. Don Turner lost his election for lieutenant governor to David Zuckerman. News 7's Kieran Brisson was stationed at the Republican gathering in Burlington as the results came in. And over the weekend, Jerry Johnson started a trend to support a local household name. Steve Molesky, who is a meteorologist for the Fairbanks Museum, is known for his voice on the radio. And the Vermont State Senate is considering a bill that would create a 24-hour waiting period for any gun purchase. WCAX reported that the bill's proposal was approved as of Friday. It was passed by the Judiciary Committee by a vote of 3-2. And the bill was considered after some gun shop owners stated that handgun purchases are often impulse buys. Matthew Prue of Island Pond was charged Monday with a felony of bringing in and harboring illegal immigrants. The charge comes after Border Patrol agents arrested the 5 Mexican nationals near the Derby Line port of entry on March 21st. Agents say they saw an SUV pass by the suspected illegal border crossing multiple times and stopped the driver, identified as Prue. Abigail Long of Kingdom Trails has been named one of Vermont Business Magazine's Rising Stars. The list is made up of over 40 individuals under the age of 40 who show commitment to their communities through business, professionalism, and involvement. According to the magazine's publisher, John Booten, the winners have made Vermont their home, and they've all shown the initiative of making a difference. News 7's Rachel Johnson has more.